Good morning, guys. I want to do a quick video today about something that keeps popping up on my feed, and that's why you'll notice there's a bit of a different thumbnail on the videos, unlike my internet theology videos that we've been doing. My plan is to still continue doing those. I'm hoping to do about 100 of them, then to do some sort of written work at the end of it to kind of establish kind of a liturgy for online church. Or something to that degree. But yeah, this is also one of the areas of interest that I study and that I read a lot about. And it keeps showing up on my feed, and that is about AI and technology in general, which is why you see the different thumbnail. And specifically, all the buzz that's going around about ChatGPT right now. If you're not aware, you've been living under a rock. This thing is revolutionizing every field it ends up touching. There are, artists who are putting in, asking this thing to essentially write them lyrics, and it's pumping out lyrics that rhyme. It's this massive multi-language data set calculator, as I understand it. And so it's not all-encompassing, but it does have such a broad area of knowledge to be able to kind of draw from when you're asking it to do things, that it's able to do things at a very high level. So there's college kids being able to write 4-page papers simply by saying, hey, can you write a 4-page paper on XYZ topic? And it does, and they can kind of peruse it and then change what they want and then hand it in, essentially putting academia on autopilot. And so, there's artists up in arms, and there's, academics up in arms, and then there's the church. And so I think it was the YouTuber or internet personality, I follow him on Instagram, so I think it was Honest Youth Pastor. I'll link his channel down below. He does a 6-minute video about this, where he asks it to write a sermon about John 3:16 and notes that it does a better job than most progressive pastors because it deals with, it goes into the context of the verse and the history of the verse, and really just kind of does a great job of exegeting the text, and it's a machine that's doing this, and it's it's one of those things, but that comes with a very scary downside, that if you had a machine that could humanize and exegete the text to a degree where it would be passable as a sermon, what do you do with pastors, or what do pastors do with this technology? And that's the thing that I want to talk about, the thing that I kind of see going, because this isn't the only kind of AI generated technology that's happening right now. You've got AI art, and you also have AI mixed with augmented reality, so AR, video services. I just saw one this morning where it was a guy who's reading a script like this, but AI knows what his face looks like when he talks because he's been able to do enough videos with it. And so he uses this program to make it look like the person's engaging with the camera, but really they're looking at a script like this. And that's one of those things where, it's such a minute detail. You probably see it in my videos if you care about the stuff and you look, that, I don't look directly at the camera because I'm filming on a smartphone. So if I'm looking directly at myself on the screen, I'm over here. See how my finger moves? And that's because the camera is right here off to the side. And that's how that works, is because there's a mirror effect, that kind of thing. And if you've been online or done any kind of online video, this kind of stuff, and that's why you have teleprompters and you film through them, all that kind of stuff. And well, now you have AI being able to do and AR working together, being able to basically compensate for low quality filming, like I do on this channel. You have AI and AR also able to completely replace the human. There are text to voice video AI generations that allow you to do training videos simply by filming a person a few times and getting kind of what their face looks like and what their how their mannerisms work when they talk, and hand gestures, that kind of stuff. And what it does is it takes that information and then makes a computer model where you can hand this program a script of what you want to say, and it uses those pictures with AI computer generation to be able to make it look like you're speaking those lines, even though it's someone else, so that you can have training like that, and you don't have to film videos. You can basically just do a do a script and then put it into this machine, and it'll make it look like I'm the one who's training you, when in actuality it was a computer program that just took a picture of me and animated it in a convincing way. And there's still tells and stuff like that. We're at the beginning of this, but technology progresses, so there's going to be a time where we don't see this. And where I see this going, where it kind of gives me the chills, is because we don't have a theology of tech in any good sense. Major works. Like, no one's written like Calvin's Institutes, but for technology. Okay, like my book pales in comparison with dealing with the internet. No one deals with this kind of stuff. So that's why I want to talk about it and why I want to write about it. But we're not there yet, and the technology has already arrived. Inside of a year, we're going to have the technology where a pastor, because we're now comfortable with online church, can type a manuscript or even have ChatGPT type a manuscript that sounds like him based on his, previous sermons and whatnot. You can be able to type a manuscript and then put it into this AI, AR voice to video text, and basically do exactly what I'm doing here, and exactly what a lot of people got comfortable with over the pandemic when it came to what church or what a sermon was from their pastor. And it will literally just be kind of him, checking boxes in a few pieces of machinery in order to teach people about the gospel. And that, that kind of irks a human to a certain point, because you're like, he's just phoning it in. Like, if it starts happening, I hope it doesn't happen, but like a lot of not normal things have happened with the church because of technology in the last little bit.
All right, sorry about that, guys. So last part of that video got interrupted, so I wasn't able to finish it. But this actually kind of segues into that point, because you'll notice a few things different. One, I'm wearing a different, set of clothes, and if you look real carefully, I'm wearing a different set of glasses that don't quite sit straight on my face. And these are the kinds of details that you could just edit away so that you didn't have to deal with them, so that you had continuity through, a difficult piece of, literature with AI. Or a sermon that you wanted to preach in parts. You could simply just do the script, and AI would compensate for the changes that would happen if you did it over multiple days. And people could tell if your beard changed because you shaved in between, all that kind of stuff. Technology is giving us this, especially with artificial intelligence and augmented reality, it's giving us this control over aesthetics that simply does not exist in real life. Where that becomes a problem is when it becomes misrepresentation. And I think that's where we're going to see ChatGPT and all these powerful tools that are being made really come into conflict with the church, because the church is a moral entity. It has a moral prerogative to not be false in the things that it does, and it comes into problems like when there are falsehoods that are making their way into the church. There was a huge blow up. I think the pastor's name was Ed Linton. He was president of the SBC, where he was like preaching a sermon that was like almost verbatim what another pastor in the SBC, J.D. Greer, I think his name is, was also doing. And it blew up on, Theo Bro Twitter and all that kind of stuff, because they were being deceptive about the practice of, preaching that sermon, and really they were just using the same sermon either from a common source, or the one guy just stole J.D. Greer's sermon. That kind of deception is going to be made like into almost app form in the coming years, with this technology being able to do these things. If you knew that you could just nail a perfect kind of formal presentation style, chest and up video about something, would you not use that to make sure that it was executed to a certain degree? Or would you be real, like this video is, with two different parts squished together and time in between them, and continuity issues, that kind of stuff? That's what the church is going to have to wrestle with as technology kind of progresses, because it's progressing against the aesthetics of church and towards these areas that we want control in at the cost of authenticity. And I think that's important to note. And so one of the reasons why this video has a different background and why we did it in this kind of format is because I do want to talk about this stuff too. And this will be kind of like the theology of technology videos that I do, whereas my other videos are the theology of the internet. videos that I want to do. So I hope you guys think deeply about this stuff. I hope you guys approach these kind of technologies with caution and with prayer and with godly intentions, because there is definitely going to be a push for this kind of stuff in the church, and we're going to have to kind of suss out how the theology of technology works for all this kind of stuff. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.